It's Friday, time for another weekly update. First of all, I'd like to welcome the new Knoxville Chamber of Commerce President and CEO, Mike Odom. Mike comes to us from Round Rock, Texas, which is just outside of Austin. I was able to interview him during the Chamber search process and was very impressed by his thoughts and experience in workplace learning and apprenticeships. Workforce development is key to the economic viability of our county and our region. I look forward to working with Mike when he begins his new duties over the summer. I visited the Corrington Senior Center, where I was treated to a display from their quilting club. Not only do these ladies make beautiful quilts and crafts, they often contribute their work to organizations like Quilts of Valor, which awards quilts to military veterans. Located in South Knox County, Johnson University is one of our county's secret gems. Johnson University boasts a beautiful campus, outstanding academic pathways, and will soon have a brand new athletic and recreation center, which I was able to see firsthand. I also attended this year's Tennessee Valley Cattlemen's annual meeting at New Harvest Park. I read to children at the Murphy Branch Library, and I went by the Knox County Mobile Meals March for Meals event. Now let me tell you what's happening at Cedar Bluff Middle School. Their 3D printing club is making prosthetic hands for an organization called the Enable Community. I'm simply blown away by these kids in this program, which was made possible by funding from the Great Schools Partnerships Teacherpreneur Program. Not only are these youngsters becoming workforce ready by working in the additive manufacturing space, but they are doing so in a way that helps others and fills a need. It's truly remarkable. Next week's Eat and Greet is at the Bel Air Grill and Halls on Tuesday at noon. Please come out and join me. And remember to visit readcityusa.com and take the pledge to promote literacy in your home or organization. A big thank you to the folks who have already taken the pledge, and here's a picture of some of those people. Now I'm being joined by Knox County School Superintendent Bob Thomas. I know that those pictures of people taking the Read City USA pledge are you like as much as I do, and I appreciate your help in promoting that program.
Absolutely, great pictures, and we just want to thank you for your support, Mayor. You've been a great friend to education, and we just appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate that, sir. And you are actually the first guest that I've had on my weekly update.
Okay. I'll try not to mess up.
You'll be fine. But the reason I have you here, it's actually not really a good reason. Monday, I went to Nashville with a couple of my team members, as well as Ron McPherson, who is the Director of Finance for the schools, to discuss the proposed BEP educational funding for this year. BEP stands for Basic Education Plan, which is the state's funding formula for distribution of funds to the schools. Let me begin by saying that I'm a huge fan of Governor Bill Lee. I think he is one of the most decent human beings that I've ever met in my entire life. But just like me, he's new to his job, and he's dealing with putting the budget together after being in office for just a month. So we have some preliminary numbers from the state's BEP that Knox County has been able to discern, and unfortunately, what is proposed looks like it's going to be a lot less than it has in the past previous years. In fact, past previous years, the state's put an average, I think, of $175 million increase per year in the BEP. This year, the actual recurring part is $117 million, which means for Knox County Schools that we're looking at, instead of what we thought was going to be about $12 million, it's going to be about $6 million. Is that correct?
That's correct. If you look at the 3-year average, it's about $12 million. Even if you look at it over a 7-year period, the average is $9 million. So it's considerably less than what we received last year, and we of course do our budget based on trend, and looking at the trend information, we were hopeful that the trend would give us $12 million. But recently, as you mentioned, found out that the BEP is an increase to the formula, but it's a smaller increase than it has been. Therefore, our percentage runs about 4.5 to 4.6% of the total BEP dollars. So when you look at it that way, instead of being 12 million, it's going to be around $6 million. And again, that's our projection. We've not received that officially at this point, but in the next couple of weeks we will receive the official April estimate.
Yeah, and some of what Governor Lee's done is he's put money into education. He's with school security and with a more CTE programs, but because Knox County, we already have, we already have school security. We already have some CTE programs. It's kind of hard, we're not going to probably qualify for some of that new money, correct?
Probably. I think you're right, and we may receive some of it, a small amount of it, but you're right in terms of safety. We have school resource officers already in every school, and we have CTE programs. Of course, we're not going to turn down any money for any program, but again, the main concern for us was looking at the overall basic education program monies that we would receive, and it's a very complex formula that I think there's that funds 46 components, I think, within that formula. And what it basically does, it equalizes funding across the state of Tennessee for school districts, because it looks at fiscal capacity, and if a fiscal capacity means ability to pay. So if a community has more of an ability to pay, then the less you receive in terms of state dollars. So that's what, again, we're very fortunate in Knox County with the businesses, retail, and so forth, that there is more ability to pay actually here, but where we get penalized a little bit on that is with the state funding.
Right. Well, and if you look at the BEP overall, as you said, we get about 4.5% of the total, but we have 6% of the total student population across the state, which equates to about $70 million, which is being shot out everywhere else instead of coming here to Knox County.
Right, and that's a huge amount of money. We struggle every year, I guess, with our budget to do all the things that the Board of Education wants to do. We've got great teachers, we have great principals, we have great employees. They all deserve to be paid more, and I know the focus this year with the board, the priority is salaries. We did not give a salary increase the current year, so that's been the focus, for the board with this budget. So we were really counting on that increase being around $12 million to allow us to give as much of a salary increase as we could possibly give.
Well, my hope is with Governor Lee, that he'll look at that and realize the implication that's going to, because it's not just Knox County.
Right.
It's going to be other counties around the state. Realize the implication that the proposed budget is going to have, and rethink that. And of course, as you said, we're not completely sure yet. This is just preliminary, but that's kind of where we're at this point. It
is, and we based on our numbers, we're alarmed about it right now, and of course, eagerly awaiting the official numbers. And there'll be three estimates and then a final. So April we'll get an estimate, May we get another estimate, June an estimate, and then a July final. So actually July is when it becomes final. But generally speaking, those are close. But what the April estimate allows us to do is go back. The way the formula works is based on your average daily membership of students. So sometimes there are discrepancies in the numbers, and we've seen this in the past. So we do reconcile with the state on those numbers, and sometimes we've been able to get some additional funding based on our average daily membership. So that's what, once we get the April estimate, that will allow us to really take the formula and break it down and see exactly where we are. But I do want to say too, Mayor, I do appreciate you so much for taking the initiative to go to Nashville and to talk to the governor on our behalf and on behalf of our board and our employees. Certainly applaud you for doing that. And as I've said, I know you've only been in the office a short period, but you've been a great supporter of Knox County schools, and we appreciate that so much.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, sir. And frankly, that's my job, is to advocate for Knox County. So thank you. I appreciate you being here, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, we'll see you next Friday. Have a great and a safe week.